Okay. Sure. Yep. All right. Stream is up. Seems like it's running okay. So welcome back, everybody. Hope you guys all had or have had a good day so far. Hope you all had a good week. Apologies for no stream on Friday. Just didn't really have the time. Other stuff going on. Blah 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 blah. Excuses. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, I'm back. It's Wednesday, so it's time for more Castlevania. We are getting pretty close to the end of this game here. Go ahead and switch over. So last time we cleared out a decent chunk of the castle. We still have a lot of places to go. But we are progressing closer and closer to finally being done with the game. Ooh, fuck that up. Anyway, so we're gonna continue our run through the area to wrap everything up. See, this is what the imps do if they catch you. They make you just attack wildly until you manage to hit them. They don't do a lot of damage, they just, can be frustrating to fight. Alright, so we just got the Goddess Shield, which maintains the, maintains the same defense that we had. You can see it's a much smaller shield. It's really more of a buckler than an actual shield. But it does the trick. And now we go all the way back to the bottom. Because of the fucking ants. Oops. There we go. Made it. So this room is now filled with lesser demons. And that fire demon. They're not super difficult, especially not anymore. Like, the damage that we put out and the damage that we take is such that basically nothing's really a threat to us, except for some particularly high-level enemies that we'll run into eventually. And of course, bosses are still always worth keeping an eye on. So this room is a little bit annoying. It's filled with bitterflies, which again are the invisible butterfly enemies that will just fly around and run into you. It's got gremlins, who, make navigation difficult. And then it's got the It's got one of the Salem witches who's not really a threat on her own, but if you're distracted dealing with everything else in the room, you could forget that she's there, essentially, and let yourself get whacked with one of her spells. But, again, she's not really much of a threat. The big issue, though, is that now we have to go back through that room. Oops. Fucked up the jumps. Which means avoiding all the bitter flies. Which, as you probably just saw there as well, are one of the other big annoyances here, or one of the other big problems in this room anyway, is if the bitter flies manage to bump into you at just the right spot, with just the right timing, they can knock you down into the pit where the spike traps are, and those do hurt. Those hit for a substantial amount of damage, even as buffed out and upgraded as we may be. You know, now that I think about it, I've never actually tried to see if, like, Spike Breaker deals with those or not. I guess I should give that a shot. I can't really think of any reason why it wouldn't. The Lesser Demons are one of my favorite enemies in the game, only for their their death animation. I think the death animation that they have is so cool. Just a particularly neat looking effect of them slowly walking forward, just wreathed in flame. I don't know, it just looks cool to me. This guy, by the way, is a fire demon. He slowly stalks towards you, and then spits out a big old fireball that does decent damage if it hits you. Actually, I don't know, it might do nothing at this point, but... they got a pretty good yell when they die. Just kind of top off, I guess. Anyway, so this is obviously, oops, a path that's going to lead us to another area. Oh, that's one of the other things that the Lesser Demons do, is they will summon other Lesser Demons. And one of them dropped a sword, the Obsidian Sword, which does quite a bit of damage. Maybe we'll give that a shot the next time we get into a boss fight. Quite a bit of damage, but it is a two-handed sword, so it does take away your shield, and again, nothing is going to do as much DPS as the broken-as-hell weapon that is the Chrysogrim. There's a reason the drop rate on this is so low. Alright. So here we are, back by the sort of entrance area, if you will. All the stuff we have to check out now is north, up for us. There's the area to the upper right, that passageway that we haven't gone through, and then there's the whole underground area from the original castle, which is now, I guess, the above ground area? I don't know. It's the area to the north of where we are right now. Anyway. So, I got two options. They both Well, actually, there's another door through here that I want to check out before I go anywhere else. Apparently, I missed the middle door. Don't know why. It drops, or it has the talisman in it. The talisman has the potential to absorb damage that you take. So, it doesn't really give you any kind of stat boost, but it does have the potential to absorb any damage you take, which can be useful if it triggers when you need it to. I forgot that I had the Ring of Arcana now, which increases the rate of rare item drops. Anyway, so at this point, if I go up, it's going to be the quickest route to both areas, so that's what I'm going to do. And this should take me more or less where I want to go. After that, it's a matter of... Oops, that's the wrong up. I want it the other side of the up. After that, it's just sort of a matter of clearing out the last few areas, getting all our shit together, making sure we've fully explored everything, because there's, you know, a lot to explore still. And then finding our way to the big bad. Yeah, this is the way I want to go. Good. Alright, so now at this point we want to go up and to the left. Just to say, this away. Whap. Whap. Whoosh. Whee. And then all the way at the end of this, there's a door that we haven't gone through for whatever reason. So we're going to solve the fact that we haven't gone through the door all the way at the end of this tunnel here. What do you do? That was fun. Yeah, why haven't I gone here? This gives us the Alucard shield. This is the actual shield that Alucard loses at the beginning. Strong versus all attacks. Also looks kind of cool. It's engraved with our family crest. And now we've just got to go up and then down. Or, well, the other way around. I tend to sort of automatically flip the castle on my own head when I'm looking at the inverted one. So, I tend to refer to up as down and down as up and blah 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 blah. So, yeah. Anyway, we're heading for the waterfall room. Once we get there, we'll make our way down the shaft. And I think I saw an item that I missed on the way down. Yeah, there's some mushrooms. Don't really need them, but, you know, every little bit helps, I suppose. Alright. And this is the last area that we haven't explored officially at this point. Well, not the last area, but this is the entry to the next area that we're going to. And this room is now filled with Guy Bonds. You may remember him as one of the very first bosses we fought in this game. Back then he had a partner in Slagra, the spear-wielding demon. Guyben's even more of a chump now than he was back then. Go figure. We're so much stronger than we were at the beginning of the game, after all. But he's become just a regular enemy. And there's Slagra, hanging out in the next room. Also now just a regular enemy. Alright, boss fight. And an important one at that. So, we will be making a quick save here. I'll go ahead and try out the obsidian sword. This might be a mistake against death, but I'll go ahead and try it out. We're going to go visit an old buddy of ours.
So, you've made it this far. In the name of your father, cease this foolishness!
Not while there's a breath in my body.
Then for the master, I'll feast on your soul this night.
And we're at it. So, one of the big risks you have to worry about when fighting death is his little sickles. They will fly around the place, not hitting terribly hard, but they hit hard enough that they're worth paying attention to. Or, actually, they don't really hit hard at all. It's not so much that the sickles themselves hit hard as it is they're just a distraction that you want to not get hit by. Then death turns into this crazy-ass thing. And really, it's just a matter of, again, avoiding the scythe. Because it hits decently hard. So you want to not get hit by that, if at all possible. He's also a little bit hard to hit because it's just the grave spot in the middle. That's the only valid target, pretty much. I think his head is valid target as well, but... Anyway, let's check that out using the cryptogram and see how the fight goes now. Blah 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 blah. Down before he even gets a chance to summon the size. And down before he even gets to take an attack. Again, the cryptogram, man, it breaks the shit out of this game. Anyway, for defeating death, we get the Eye of Vlad. The Eye of Vlad gives us plus 10 luck and is the last of the 5 treasures, which means we now have everything we need to go and beat the game. However, there are still 2, count them 1, 2, relics that we have not found. And we will find those relics, don't you worry. Alright, speaking of relics, I need to re-equip the demon card, because the demon's the only one who will actually flip the switch.
This switch hasn't been pressed yet.
Poke. Thanks, buddy. And now we can go back to the fairy familiar. Again, Guyben and Slagra weren't really a tough fight when we fought them the first time around. They're even less of a fight now. Power of Sire and a life apple. Both useful things to find. Oh hey, I managed to hit Guyben without killing him. There we go. dealt with that. That's so many bats. Anyway, climbing our way up the stairs. And we're back at this somewhat now familiar crossroad. Where we get the Alucard sword, which is now completed the Alucard set. So if I were to equip this sword right now, you can see it does pretty good damage. This is now the complete Alucard set. We are now as we were at the very beginning of the game, which also means we have this ability back, which is pretty dope as far as sword attacks go. But despite that boost of 6 in damage, still not as good as the Crucigram. Oops, I missed my jump. Anyway, with that, we are now, as I mentioned, fully kitted out in terms of Alucard gear. So all of the original equipment that we started the game with, we now have back if we wanted to use it. We are using most of it at this point, just not all of it. We're also now at level 49. We're very close to being at level 50. I don't remember. I think the level cap in this is just 99. I'm not planning to like push to get to the level cap. It's more just sort of a, if I'm remembering correctly, kind of thing, but... Navigating this area while it's upside down can be a little bit tricky, because it's definitely not built to be navigated upside down. So, you tend to slide off of things, and you have to make kind of awkward jumps onto tiny platforms and what have you. Which is no doubt why they filled it with thornweeds, so that you'd slip and fall onto the thornweeds all the time. Which, you know, do middling damage on their own, but if you keep bumping into them, eventually all those ones are going to add up. You know, I run into a thornweed 680 times and I'll die. And you never know, I could run into a thornweed 680 times. Alright. So these witches are a little bit annoying just because they block from the front, and then you also have to watch out for the cat that they throw and that they turn into. There is, however, an item that we have, the Cat's Eye Circlet, that if you equip that, those witches are the only thing in the game that uses cat attacks. So you can equip that Cat Eye Circlet and use it to defend yourself, or to heal yourself from the witch attacks. Look at all these blood skeletons. This is the room that had all the sarcophagi filled with blood skeletons last time. Now they're just up and walking around. And this is the frozen half, who dies very quickly. You may notice that it's no longer lava down below us, or up above us in this case. Now it's weird extra-dimensional goo and shit. This is where we get the Necklace of J. An actually potentially useful item. It gives you +5 to defense. That's about it, though. this is where the discus armor used to be. And now we have green blood skeletons for whatever reason. Must have been aliens. Here's the save point that actually has a follow through in it. And then a diamond on the other side of that. All the rings and stuff that we have are just saleables. So we've now got 2 aquamarines, 4 opals, 3 turquoise, 4 diamonds, 6 zircons, 4 garnets. Yeah, we have a ton of rings that are just things to be sold. When we get to the end, before the final fight, I'm gonna go back to the library and sell everything off. Oop, boss fight, that's right. I think this is the fight. Okay. So, quick save. Let's try out the Alucard sword. This is the fight I'm thinking of. I have 2 ways to break this fight over my knee. Yep, this is the fight I'm thinking of. So, this guy has these big balls, Galamoth. Those big balls hit pretty hard, right? Do a considerable amount of damage. He also has this lightning thing that he does. Not a huge amount of damage, but it does 8 damage per hit, and it's kind of hard to avoid. Now, I'm gonna break this fight over my fucking knee. I'm gonna take off my dragon helm and equip the barrel circlet. At this point, all I have to do is avoid these guys, because those still hurt. They're dark damage. But when he lightnings me, I get 49 health per hit, and I can just stand here and wail on him. Hey look, it's a break that doesn't involve the Chrysogrim. Still gonna break him over my knee with the Chrysogrim, of course, but, you know. You may also notice that he's taking more damage from certain areas than others. Here come the balls again. They do have a very clear range to them, so it's pretty easy to make sure you're not getting hit. By those balls anytime soon. Anyway, Galamoth has a ton of health, but as long as you found that barrel circlet before you got into the fight, he's a joke. He will not kill you. You would have to try very hard to die in this fight as long as you have the barrel circlet equipped. You can also usually bait him into doing the attack that you want as long as you stay sort of on the far left side of that rip sign there. He'll usually do the lightning rather than the balls, but you can also just duck. So other than the frankly ludicrous amount of health that he has, Galamoth doesn't really have that much more going on for him. And we're hitting him, and we're hitting him. Yeah, this is kind of always a long fight. Not because it's difficult, just because he takes so much damage to finally put down. I'm not sure what the exact number is. I could probably look it up pretty quickly. Hell, I could probably look it up while this fight is going on. There he goes. Finally. Let's see. How much health does he actually have? He does go out pretty cool, though. I'll give him that. Okay. He has 12,000 hit points. 12,000. That's how many hit points that motherfucker has. That is so many hit points. Alright, so we're going to go in and just show how quickly the Chrysogrim cuts through 12,000 hit points. Ow. Look at all those 26s. And he's dead. So, still a long fight, just because he has so much health. Get a better shot at his death animation, because again, it is pretty cool. But, not a difficult fight by any means, as long as you've got access to that barrel circlet. That just chumps the shit out of him. Anyway, yeah, 12,000 health from that guy in Symphony of the Night. He also gives 9,999 experience, so not only did he level us up, but we're also very close to leveling up to 51 at this point. But yeah, that's Galamoth. We need to finish exploring this room, however. This is where we fought, oh, you know. Grand Falloon, that's what its name is. Grand Falloon. AKA Legion. That's who we fought in this room previously. Now it's Galamoth's place. And just like when we killed Grand Falloon and we wandered through and got a bunch of random crap, we're gonna kill Galamoth and then wander through and get a bunch of random crap. Most notably, the Ruby Circlet and Gas Cloud. This is one of the two relics that we're still missing. The Ruby Circlet, by the way, restores HP from fire damage. You can see how that might be useful against certain enemies. And we now have the Gas Cloud, which means that when we turn into mist, we're now this lovely fart cloud. What's cool about that... Well, I'll show it off in a minute, I guess. You can probably already figure it out just from how it's been described by the game as a gas cloud. But moving through areas that have a lot of... Let's just say moving through areas that have a lot of weak flying enemies is going to be much easier now. This room still serves no purpose as far as I can tell. There's the frozen half actually getting an attack off, so y'all can see what that looks like, I guess. How close are we to leveling now? 491. There's so many bats here now. It's ridiculous. I mean, there's zero reason for there to be that many bats. I'll take the book, sure, why not? But yet here they all are. Got an itch. Oh. Alright, at this point I'm mostly just sort of clearing out the room, making sure I got all the squares for it. And this is the room where we still remember that we have the spike breaker armor. And here's yet another color of blood skeleton. This one's yellow. We got catted. Yeah, so when she turns into a cat, I just wanted to show off that her cat form, I guess, when she cats, also does damage. So you need to both avoid the cats that she throws at you and avoid the cat that she turns into when you kill her. Got a red bean bun. Yum. These white blood skeletons now. There are so many of them in that room, and what's fun is that if you start your run up from here as the wolf, you can just get up to speed and plow through every single one of them. Alright, and that's a library card, which is good, because at this point, we're almost done. We've basically gotten everything there is to get in this game. There's one relic we still have to find, and I can never remember where the fuck it is, so I'm probably just going to look it up. And, yeah, that's about it. So let's go ahead and run through all those skeletons, because again, it's pretty satisfying. Isn't that fun? Isn't that great? Oh yes, I promised to show off what the mist does now. See, we're poisoned now. We kill shit. And as mist, nothing can actually hit us. So as long as we have MP, we can just float around and kill everything. Which is pretty great. It's a nice skill to have. I'm pretty sure that I had the Alucard mail equipped prior to fairly recently, but as you can see, the walk armor now has a significant defense boost over the Alucard mail, a full 11 points. Because at this point, the number of rooms that we're up to is 1,861, which is very, very high. So it's giving us a significant boost to our defense. Just a moment while I look up the thing that I am forgetting. Right, okay, so I need to go back to the original castle, actually, in order to get what it is I'm looking for. So, we've got all those library cards. Where are all my library cards? Oh, I have several. All the way up at the top, aren't they? There they are. One of these library cards and use that to warp back to the library, which will also take us back to the main castle. So, goodbye! Because this deposits us right in front of the librarian's room. You can also, I don't know if I've gone over this, but you can, God, what button is it? There we go. You can organize this thing. You can organize everything that's in here by hitting the square button, the attack button, and then selecting from the list what you want to put first. So you can organize by sword, short sword, throwing weapons, fist weapons, clubs, two-handed weapons, food, bombs, throwables round 2, shields, and medicine. Which is useful if you're looking for something in particular. Anyway, here's the librarian's room. Like I said, we're gonna sell everything off. Whoa, that was different. So, we've already got 58,499 gold. We're gonna sell off all of our zircons.
Thank you.
All the aquamarines, all the turquoise. We're just gonna sell everything that we have.
Thank you. Thank you.
And as you can see, it puts us at a fairly comfortable amount of cash. Now at this point, we can buy tactics on different enemies. See, they're all here now. And of course, we can buy the items that he has to sell. I doubt that he has anything to sell that's going to be even close to worth buying at this point. He does have stuff like the Thunder brand, which we haven't gotten yet, which is just the Thunder version of the Fire brand and the Ice brand. And a few other fancy things. Like a reversible cloak, the Elven cloak, Joseph's cloak, which is kind of cool because you get to select the color you want for it. And then just a few, just sort of general boost items. This is the only thing we can't afford. It costs 500,000 and it duplicates your use items. You put it in your offhand, you use it, it duplicates whatever you put in the other hand. Not really worth the 500,000 if you ask me. Anyway.
Farewell for now.
So apparently the thing that I need is over by Olrox's chambers. And Olrox is over there. I say over there. To the left. Essentially above the arena, if I'm remembering correctly. So I'm going to head that direction. I think, yeah, probably my quickest bet is going just to be to go to that warp point in the Tower of Mist, and then head over from there. no real reason not to just run through everything in dog form at this point, I guess. So, we'll do that. Anyway. Want to close that. Excuse me. All right. In the room right below the one where the Olrox battle took place. What room was that? I think I remember. Ah, yes, I think I see where I need to go. Okay. Oops. All right. There we go. That's what I want. Missed that room. And that gets us the sword card. This is the last relic. And we can now summon the sword familiar. Which apparently if you have the Mojo armor, which I don't know how to get that, or really even what that is. This becomes really powerful. But that was the last area we needed to check out. Now we just need to go back to where we were originally, which is to say we need to get back to the other castle. So I'm going to go up and over. Check out the last little bit of that area. And then we'll go up to the other castle, check out the area that we missed. And that castle, because now we know that there's a room above that room that the sword can come from. See, this is an example of when the mist becomes useful, because you can just float on up. And anything that happens to run into you will just die. Which is great. It does drain your MP pretty quick to be the poison mist, however. So, yeah. Hey, remember this room where we fought the hippogriff? I'm actually just going to use this save point since we're right here. Restore whatever health I may have lost, and also all of my mana. And also just save, because I think at this point, we have now completely cleared, because apparently I just completely missed that room when I was looking before. But we, I believe, have now completely cleared the original castle, the first castle. We were only a couple rooms below, or behind on that. And now we just got a couple extra rooms, so we should be 100% done with this castle. Which means all that's left to do is to grab the handful of things we need to grab from the other castle. It's really not a lot. And then go fight the big baddie. I think this is the one I want, right? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Okay, good. So you can see how quickly the mana takes down when you're in this form. And I have 242 MP, so it's not just that I'm low on MP. But... yeah, sure, whatever. I'll take the Supercross. Alright, and with that, we've now completely filled out this map. We are at 1,864 rooms. We are almost 100% done with this game. I'm actually going to go to the teleporter right there and warp up a bit so that I'm closer to where I want to be, which is to say Aurochs's chamber, and then go get that last set of rooms that we're missing, and then I'll go to the middle, which is the next area that we need to look at. And once I'm there, well, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Nonsense. Think. Yeah. Wow. Okay, cool. That's the one I wanted. Good to know. Anyway, what was I going to say? Right, so I think after I've done all this, I'm going to go into the room where the final boss fight is. And then I'm just going to sort of pause. God, really? So, fuck you. That's cool. Okay, so I need to go up to the highest area here. Karasumon, you're fucking up my frame rate, man. Anyway, so my plan right now is I'm gonna go basically get to the final boss fight and then warp out with the library card. And then once I've warped out with the library card, I'm gonna go save and quit the game so you can see what my percentage is actually at before we finish the game. Alright, and that gives me a heart refresh. And I believe, yeah, the next step is now to go back to the clock tower. Also, for whatever reason, it's just on familiars now. So you can see that my fairy is now level 67. So that's cool. Rooms is now at 1866. Alright. I'm gonna go further to the right, go through the arena, and use that to get where I need to go. Alright, and I now know the magic number for having every single room. And we're very close to it. Like I said, I'm going to get as far into the fight as I can, essentially, without getting to the end. Up, right, and then up left. Okay. Point, I just want to keep going straight. Yep. Until I get to the next sort of big room. What level are we at anyway? 51, okay. Alright, and then from this room, I want to go straight up. I'm definitely just going to finish it today, I think. I'm at an hour now. But there's maybe 20 minutes of content left. So it's definitely not worth it to me to bother trying to make this 2 videos. I'm trying to make another video here. So. Alright, so it doesn't really make it super obvious in the game, but once you have all 5 of Dracula's relics, the Heart of Vlad, the Rib of Vlad, the Tooth of Vlad, the Ring of Vlad, and the Eye of Vlad, this room, or that door, then opens up. Sort of like how you had to hold the, how you had to have the silver and gold rings equipped. Right. That allows this room to open up. Which allows you to progress into the final areas. At this point, we're at 1869. Okay, so once you get here, you need to fly around the whole area so you can get the map squares. But you'll notice there's a thing in the middle. You need to make sure you don't accidentally hit that. So once you hit that, shit starts. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and drop another save point here. Flip the... Sort this by sword, so that I can actually find the sword I'm looking for. Flip the Alucard sword. Alright, it's time for a pretty major boss fight.
You have done well in making it this far. I would expect no less from the son of our master.
So you are the one who was controlling Belmont?
Yes. I am the dark priest called Shaft.
Shaft!
This world must be cleansed in the forge of chaos.
Why did you make Belmont lord of this castle?
For centuries, vampire hunters have defeated evil with holy power. But if 2 vampire hunters were to fight each other...
But Belmont's power is supreme among vampire hunters. None other could defeat him.
Exactly. That's why I removed him as a threat, by making him into lord of this castle.
But your plan has failed.
Has it indeed? We'll see what happens after I destroy your weak human side.
Alright. So he has these little orbs. They float around. You can't really do anything to them. If you hit them, they do damage. And if they hit you, they do damage. He enchants them with different abilities, and then uses those various abilities to attack. Even still, not a particularly difficult fight.
You claim to love the darkness. Go then and dwell there for all eternity.
But my goal is achieved. Count Dracula has come to purify this corrupt world with the searing flames of chaos.
Alright, and before we get into that, I'm just going to reload with the Chrysogrim, show what that fight looks like with that. Surprise, it ends even quicker. Yeah, Shaft is kind of a joke.
Father.
Well met, my son. It's been a long time.
I was hoping we would not see each other again. I can't allow you to leave here, Father.
You have ever been the ally of humans. Have you forgotten what they did to your mother?
Think you I would forget such a thing? No, but neither do I seek revenge against them.
Still uttering the same nonsense. No matter. Now is the time to put aside your weak human side and join me in remaking this world!
Dracula, in the name of my mother, I will defeat you again!
Behold my true form and despair!
So, this is actual Dracula. He's pretty cool looking. But we're not going to fight him right now. No, instead, we're going to go away. Goodbye. Nope, shit. That was dumb. Accidentally hit the attack button, but I'm right there, so it's just gonna put me in the exact same spot. Alright, so let's switch back over to the Chrysogrim.
What can I
If we
do
go
for
talk
you?
to him now, he doesn't have any new things to sell. This is all the same shit as what he had before. But what he does have now,
I'm interested in this.
under
I'm
tactics,
interested in this.
is tactics for Shaft and Lord Dracula, which is the version that we just saw in the other realm. So,
Farewell for now.
what we can do now is I'm going to go save at that save point right there, and then quit. And then that'll show us what our overall percentage is at this point. In terms of rooms, we have 1,880. Where am I going again? I can't even remember at this point. Right. Alright, so I'm going to save here. I'm going to reset the emulator, which will get us to... Well, first, actually, I guess I'll drop a save state here. I have a save state set up for the next thing we're going to do. But here's what I want to do. I want to do a soft reset. And then this should show us an actual save. That the save we just made, it should actually be in here so we can see the percentages and all that good stuff. And then once we've checked that, we will go... I will reload the save where I was about to start the fight with Drac, and then beat him up. Twice. Once with Alucard's sword, once with the Chrysogrim. Alright. I'll probably actually have 5 saves now. Nope, 4. Okay. So, this was a game that I started a long time ago and then never really did anything with. This was the last time I cleared the game. I got to 198.3. This is our current game. 199.5. And in about 30 minutes less than what it took me to get to 198.3. Right? So, we're at 199.5.
See each other again. I can't.
Now we're going to fight Drac, like I said, and get the best ending. Let me fight him with... God damn it, I keep forgetting to reorganize. Let me fight him with this, and then I'll fight him with the Chrysogrim. We'll see how this fight looks, and then we'll see how quickly the Chrysogrim chumps the final fight. Like, this is it. This is it. This is the final boss of the entire game. And we're gonna see just how much the Chrysogrim chumps this shit when we use it. I did want to make sure that I definitely didn't just Chris Grim this fight, because he has some cool attacks and stuff, like with heads jumping out to hit you. And you can get sort of stuck on the claws if you're not careful, just because of the way his design is set up. He's actually done a pretty decent chunk of damage to us, all things considered. But we got him.
Go back whence you came. Trouble the soul of my mother no more.
How? How is it that I've been so defeated?
You have been doomed ever since you lost the ability to love.
Sarcasm. For what profit is it to a man if he gains the world and loses his own soul? Matthew 16:26, I believe. Tell me, what were Lisa's last words?
She said, "Do not hate humans. If you cannot live with them, then at least do them no harm, for theirs is already a hard lot." She also said to tell you that she would love you for all of eternity.
Lisa, forgive me. Farewell, my son.
So you made it.
Alucard, I'm glad you're all right.
I'm sorry. 'Tis my fault you had to fight your own father.
Fear not. I had my own reasons for destroying him.
It must have been painful for you.
Indeed. But you must always remember that the only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing.
I understand.
Alucard, what will you do now?
The blood that flows in my veins is cursed. 'Twould be best for this world if I were to disappear forever.
I see.
Farewell then. We'll not meet again.
Alucard,
Don't you want to go after him, Maria?
I'm sorry. I can't let him disappear from my life.
It's all right. Go after him. Perhaps you can save his haunted soul.
Thank you, Richter. Fare thee well.
And yourself, dear lady.
Alright, well, that was Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I'm going to go ahead and load up the save state that I had
See each other again.
before I get copyright struck, I guess. I don't really care, I don't monetize any of my videos anyway, but let's see how quickly the Chrysogrim deals with Vlad. And he's done.
Go back whence you
Didn't
came.
even get to summon anything, he's just done. The Chrysogrim is so broken. Even the final boss, he got like 3 hits in on me, and that was because I wasn't trying to avoid anything. But with that, we have now actually, for real, beaten the game. We get this same
So you
cutscene
made
again.
Alucard,
This
I'm
one, I
glad
guess,
you're
is
all right.
unskippable.
I'm sorry. 'Tis my fault you had to fight your own father.
Fear not. I had my own reasons for destroying him.
But that's
Must have
it. That's the
been
game.
painful for
That's Symphony of the Night
Indeed.
in its
But you
entirety.
must always
There is
remember
one ending that we
the
actually
only
didn't
thing
see because
necessary
it's
for
the
evil to
ending that you
triumph
get for beating the
is for
game,
good men to
having
do
found the
nothing.
second castle,
I understand.
but not getting up to
Alucard,
over
what will you do
197%.
now?
And that
The
ending is
blood that
basically the
flows
same
in
as
my
this,
veins is
except
cursed.
Maria doesn't
'Twould
chase
be
after
best
you.
for this world if I were to disappear forever.
I think.
I
Anyway,
see.
that's the
Farewell,
game.
then. We'll
Um,
not meet again.
I'm going to go ahead and just kind of start wrapping up
Alucard?
here.
Don't you want to go after him, Maria?
So
I'm
goodbye,
sorry.
Castlevania.
I
Actually-
can't let him disappear from my life.
It's all right.
Well, I
Go
want the
after him.
clear, so I think I'm
Perhaps-
just going to...
You can save his
Mute
haunted
this.
soul.
Thank you, Richter. Fare thee well.
Or see
And
if I can't
yourself,
just
dearly.
fast forward it, maybe. Is it possible for me to just fast forward it? Also, this is already at 400%, so you can see just how slow these credits would have rolled if we just sat here and watched it as well, I guess. Wow, this sounds amazing. So there's a way to run even faster. There probably is, I just don't know how to do it. Anyway, so yeah, that was the game. I love this game. I've now beaten it over 197%, I think, 3 times at least. Once on the 360, twice now on this. And yeah, it's great. I love this game. As I've already said. One of my favorite games ever. I pick it up and play it on the regular. Let's look at our cleared save. Alright, so we now have this cool castle here, and it says clear. We finished at 198.3%, which means we missed some stuff. I think that in order to get your percentage up to the maximum, you actually have to, like, buy all of the enemy tactics, all the tactics from what's his name, from the librarian. I think that's one of the things you have to do. I'm pretty sure that you have to get Joseph's coat, because that's a menu option that gets sealed away otherwise. And so you have to have all of your menu options filled out, essentially. But we now have 2 clears and a replay on here. And this, actually, I think, is the original save file that I made for this playthrough that then somehow got fucked over when the save stopped loading, and it created a second save file for me. But this is it. We beat it. Yay! Alright, now I'm going to kill the game. And say thanks for sticking around. Anybody who watched the playthrough, awesome, thank you, appreciate it. If you watched in stream or live in stream, cool. If you watched on YouTube, also cool, appreciate all of that. I will be back tomorrow with more New Vegas, and then Friday, I don't know if I'll be here or not. I'm going to try to be here, I think. I don't know what I'll be playing if I am here. Next Wednesday, I don't know what I'm going to play then either. I guess I'll have to figure something out. Maybe I'll put a poll in the LP Zone thread that nobody ever checks out and see if anybody actually pays attention to that. But that's all for today. Again, thanks for coming out. Beat the game again. Love the game. Always a fun time. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.